Commissioner Spear,
Here.
Commissioner Nutella,
Here.
Mr. Scott Berman.
Here.
Mr. Franklin.
Here.
Commissioner Netanyahu is absent. Mr. Gupta. Here. Mr. Jeff Berman.
Here.
Mr. Matei.
Here.
We do have a quorum. First, next order of business is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Any comments or additions or corrections to the minutes? None? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Minutes have been approved. Thank you. First case tonight is case number 2024-40P. Special use permit 3462 Touhy Avenue for pickleball. First order of business, what we do is we'll have the staff come up, present its report. After that, he will entertain questions from the commission. After that, I will have the petitioner come up and give his or her presentation as to the scope of their project, and they will be open to questions from the commission. Afterwards, I will open the floor to anybody in the audience, who wishes to come up and have a comment or a question about that particular case. Mr. Wojtek, thank you.
Actually, I'll just state first that notice is proper and correct in
I was
this
gonna-
case.
Okay, new order now. That's the new order, yeah.
I'd like to request that the, sounds good. I'd like to request that the staff report for 2024-40P special use permit.
Your request is granted.
Staff recommends that the petitioner's request for a special use permit for a recreation facility at 3462 Touhy Avenue in a B2 commercial zoning district be approved, subject to the recommended conditions and attached proposed positive findings of fact. It is not anticipated that the request will adversely affect adjacent properties. The proposed use will provide year-round recreational facility that is desired by the community and is compatible with the adjacent Export Fitness Center. All activities associated with the use will occur within the building. Adequate public facilities, including roads, drainage, utilities, and police and fire protection, currently exist to serve the requested use. Adequate provision for maintenance of the associated structures is demonstrated by the request. No adverse effects on the natural environment are anticipated. Adequate landscaping is currently provided at the site. It is not anticipated that the request will create undue traffic congestion, as there are multiple points of ingress and egress. Public health, safety, and welfare will be positively affected by the request, as it adds a health amenity to the community. The request will conform to all applicable provisions of this code. This is a depiction of the site plan. The facility will be occupying the northeast corner of the site. Right now it's a vacant industrial space formerly occupied by a packaging business that did labels. And then the space to the west of that, where it's labeled warehouse, office, and interior docks, that will remain vacant. The petitioner will be providing 9 pickleball courts inside. There will also be a small area where the snacks are for sale, small pro shop where some items will be available along the wall for purchase by patrons. There is adequate parking provided at the site. This site is part of an overall site plan approval that is shared with Export Fitness at the south end of the site. So all the parking on site is shared by all tenants at the site. There's also some enclosed parking between Export and then the 2 tenant spaces to the north that can be utilized by both Export and then any other tenants at the site, including the petitioner. If you're familiar with the site, there's access from Touhy Avenue on the south via a driveway which runs through what was Federal Mogul. I don't remember what the name of it is right now. There's an easement that provides access between the Mariano's property and then the Export property. So the driveway comes up, And you can travel north on that and then turn into the parking lot where the petitioner is proposing the location. To the north is the Terrace Ayala Banquet Hall, which is in operation, also accesses that driveway. There's additional driveways off of McCormick running north past, in an east-west direction, north past the Marianos that goes out to McCormick Boulevard. And then there's a third means of access from a diagonal driveway that comes down to the west of Export, and then also is accessible to and from Touhy Avenue. As part of this request, the petitioner will be installing a garbage corral over on the west side of the building to serve the proposal. It's indicated up in red on that drawing there on the site plan. This is a floor layout of the proposal with the 9 courts arranged inside. There's a lobby, a check-in area, an event space, bathrooms, and then there's just some small area where some snacks are provided for patrons. The recommended conditions from the staff: the petitioner, shall develop the subject property in substantial conformance with the final village-approved site plan and floor plan. Prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit, the property owner must A, reconfigure the parking space striping along the north side of the building so that the existing accessible loading space near the front entrance to the proposed use aligns with the existing ADA accessible ramp. B, remove all existing reserved parking signage from the subject site. C, stripe a stop bar at the east end of the east-west driveway to the north of the building. And D, raise the existing stop sign to a height of 7 feet measured vertically from the bottom of the sign to the ground at the east end of the east-west driveway to the north of the building. And finally, 3, the petitioner shall submit to the Planning Division electronic files of the site and floor plans in their approved and finalized form. And that concludes my presentation.
Any questions of the staff? No questions? Okay, well, thank you, Mike. Is the petitioner here tonight, please? Good evening, sir.
Everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Good evening, everybody. My name's Emmanuel Byram. I'm an attorney at Shane Banks, Kenny & Schwartz. And I have the pleasure to introduce you guys to the petitioner today, Second City Pickleball. They're really excited about, pursuing a special use permit to establish an indoor pickleball facility at the subject property.
Counselor, will your clients be presenting testimony tonight?
Yes.
I'll swear them in. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you affirm that the testimony you give tonight is the truth, nothing, excuse me, let me start again. Do you swear that, do you affirm that the testimony you give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you? Thank you.
Perfect. Just a little quick overview. I know Mike kind of hit on everything that were just kind of on the slide, but just the applicant is seeking to establish the pickleball facility at 3462 Touhy. It's a multi-tenant, single-story warehouse building. They're going to activate the commercial space on the northeast corner. They'll have 9 pickleball courts, and part of their lease is 65 non-exclusive parking spaces. As you can see, just to orient you again, the northeast corner of the property. Here's the site plan. To the image to your right gives you just a little bit more detail. They'll be activating the space in blue. The space in yellow is the other commercial space that will remain vacant. This is the exterior of the building. No exterior work is contemplated, so the structure will remain the exact same. Just to comment on moving the handicap space, which Mike brought up earlier, you can see the handicap space, so they're just going to move that over, and then the 2 signs there, they're going to end up removing as well as part of the conditions. Lastly, I just want to go over highlight 3 of the things that I thought were really important on the special use standards. Is that the project is consistent with the comprehensive plan. I know that the village has published a comprehensive plan that said that they would like physical recreation and social spaces, and this allows for a wide age range of people to come together and be active together and create a sense of community, which we do really think is important. It is compatible with the surrounding uses as everything is zone commercial and industrial, and then it will not create undue traffic. This area is well suited for just a minor increase with the customers that they expect to see. And as I mentioned, there's about 400 parking spaces on site, so there shouldn't be any issues with parking at all. And without further ado, I get to introduce you to the team themselves.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emmanuel. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, can we have your name, please? Name and address?
Oh, whoops. Thank you guys for hearing us tonight, and Happy New Year. We are thrilled to be here to talk to you about Second
Could
City.
you please, for the record, give us your name?
Yes, my name is Hillary Gelfman, and I'm here with my co-owner, Ken Rice. So we just wanted to introduce ourselves a little bit to the commission, have you guys get to know us and talk a little bit more about our vision for Second City Pickleball here in Skokie. Wanted to give a little bit of a shout out first to the village who's been so helpful to get us to where we are today, Mike and Kate and Carol and Rod and Brian. So really wanted to thank the team for their help. So let me just start by sort of introducing myself a little bit. Like I said, my name is Hillary Gelfman. I live in downtown Chicago. I've been in Chicago for about 16 and a half years. I'm actually originally from Maryland, and it's sort of fortuitous that we're here today establishing Second City Pickleball in Skokie, because as a kid, I always heard about Skokie from my mom, who grew up in Rhode Island, because her dad my grandpa, always ordered all of his kosher meats from Skokie. So when I first moved here, before my mom even wanted to see like anything about downtown, she was like, "Can you just drive me to Skokie?" And I was like, "Where?" And she's like, "I don't know, just drive me around." So I think it was like a little bit of a, being close to her dad. So it's always kind of held a little bit of a special place in my family's heart. But a little bit more about me and sort of my excitement about starting Second City Pickleball. So most of my background has been in marketing and branding. I have an MBA from the University of Michigan, so I've never actually started a pickleball business before, but think I've got a lot of skills to make this a successful venture here in Skokie. I've also done a lot in the community in Chicago, so pretty significant fundraiser for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and I was on the board for about 5 years and raised quite a bit of money over the past decade or so. And you might be kind of wondering, well, okay, so you have this background in marketing and branding and consumer insights. What makes you interested in pickleball? Sort of where did the idea come from? Well, about 2 years ago, 2 Februaries ago, 2023, I found myself restructured out of my corporate job where I was an SVP of consumer insights and marketing at Utz, which is a snack food company on the East Coast. And I was sort of like, all right, well, maybe I'll take some time, figure out what I want to do, and started playing this game I'd never heard of called pickleball. And I was like, okay, this sounds like a fun sport. Where can I play it in Chicago? And circa February 2023, there was almost no place to play in Chicagoland. And this was February, so there were no outdoor courts really in operation. So I was like, there's got to be a way to play pickleball. Like, does the sport just shut down in, the winter months? So coincidentally, I ended up going home in spring of that year, back to Maryland, and I Googled, like, indoor pickleball. And sure enough, there was an indoor pickleball spot that had 6 courts. And I walked in, and I was like, this is what we need in Chicago. And so I sort of half-jokingly to Ken, and he'll introduce himself in a minute, but we had a similar sort of serendipitous job restructure situation at the same time, and we were sort of half joking saying, hey, this could be our next $1 million idea. Well, about 18 months and a lease later, here we are, and so we're really excited to bring, health and wellness minded business to Skokie. We've already met our neighbors at Export, and they're super excited to partner with us as well. So we are really thrilled to be able to bring this to Skokie and start our business here. And with that, I'll let Ken introduce himself.
All
All right, thank you, Hillary. As you can see up here, my name is Ken Rice, and my story is not dissimilar from Hillary's. I'm about a 20-year resident in Chicagoland. I started my tenure next door in Evanston, where I got my MBA. But both my parents are actually originally Southsiders, so we have deep ties to to the community. And I have about a 20-year tenure in mostly retail. So my background, most recently, I was a vice president at Kohl's up in Milwaukee, splitting my time between Milwaukee and Chicagoland. And as Hillary mentioned, found myself, with some free time starting in February of 2023, and won't go into too much more detail as Hillary covered a lot of that. But we're really excited to get into sort of entrepreneurship and a business like Pickleball is one where it's like you actually get excited to come into work, right? So I think that was another thing that really brought a passion for me to turn that into the business. So we're very thankful for the opportunity to work with the village, and have been just very thankful for the support that we've gotten to this point.
Great. Now you've got me again. So our mission with Second City Pickleball is to create a really approachable, welcoming space for people of all levels to come and enjoy the sport, whether you're a beginner or whether you're more advanced. And I know there's another pickleball location opening in Skokie in about a month. We'll get to a couple stats on why I think there's still quite a bit of demand out there that even 2 pickleball facilities probably can't address. But we're really excited to just bring this very multi-generational, very low barrier to entry sport to Skokie and complement the businesses that are already going to be in play. So why pickleball? I think you guys know from when Pickledilly was here pitching their case. Have some stats if you have any questions at the end, but super big, growing really fast. Very sticky sport when people start to play. I don't know how many people in here play or have tried it, but a lot of people don't just say, oh, well, that was fun, one and done, and let's move on to a different sport. A lot of people really say, oh, you know what, I could really improve that shot on my next game. So you see a lot of loyalty around it as well, which is very appealing to us from a business standpoint and from just a, entrenching ourselves in the community standpoint as well. So speaking of the community, this is a very blown up view. And like I mentioned, in February of 2023, when we started sort of having this idea, none of these places on this map were in existence. So all of these places are represented by indoor pickleball clubs. Some have both outdoor and indoor. Some are franchises, some are standalone. But you can see just the proliferation and growth of the sport, which again makes it very attractive for us as we think about, we're still at the tip of the iceberg for people, kind of getting involved and learning the sport, even though, fun fact, it's been around since like 1965. But when we think about the sort of Skokie area, if you look at that red circle where Second City Pickleball is in the middle, that's a 5-mile radius around our location. And you can see there's only 2 facilities, neither of which is open, but both are planning to open shortly. As I mentioned, Pickledilly here in Skokie, and then just to the south of us, Pickleball Clubhouse, which is in Irving Park. We still feel like there is quite a bit of unsatisfied demand in the area that will still make us very successful. So the 5-mile radius around Second City Pickleball is about 600,000 people, with a fairly high median household income. And thanks to some stats that the village actually provided us, we actually know that there were about 30,000 public court players across Oakton and some of the other public courts between 2023 and 2024, really signaling a huge demand for people wanting to play this sport. And obviously, we live in Chicagoland, you can't play it all year long outdoors. Ken and I are also members of a couple of Facebook pickleball message boards, and there's over 1,000 members just on Skokie Pickleball alone, and 15,000 for Chicago Pickleball. So there's a ton of demand, and if you guys remember, Pickledilly will have 11.5 courts. We're gonna have 9. You can only fit 4 people on a court at the same time. It's a lot of people that, you know, we still have to reach and to grow with this sport and with our facilities. So what is our solution as we think about Second City Pickleball? So we are really focusing on courts as the solution and really trying to solve the problem of giving people a reliable, affordable, accessible place to play, and really take the friction out of playing pickleball. You know, a lot of people say when they go to play pickleball in the park, they don't know who they're gonna be matched up with. They don't know if they need to bring their own net. There's just a lot of inherent friction. So we really wanna take the guesswork out of pickleball with our facility, and importantly, focus on really great playing experience for our players. A lot of clubs that you might have heard of, not in this area, but you know, in the suburbs and in other states, focus on what's called like an entertainment model, where they really focus on hospitality and restaurants. And the pickleball courts are sort of a nice, you know, amenity or add-on, but it doesn't really engender a lot of loyalty. It's sort of a novelty. We're really flipping the script on that and really focusing on pickleball courts. So we're gonna have optimal playing conditions, really high ceilings, ball control between the courts to minimize the friction of people like yelling down the court, like, hey, can you hand me my ball? It fell into your court. And I know pickleball noise is also a complaint you might have heard. So we're really being thoughtful with our architect and our GC about designing our space to really minimize the noise as well. We're gonna have actually a hybrid membership model. So you can either be a member and pay an annual fee, or if you don't know that you're ready to commit to that, you can certainly pay to play and join our club as a visitor. From an operational standpoint, we are gonna be a staffed facility. There are some facilities that are sort of running staffless and are 24/7. We really want to encourage that sort of Cheers-like community feel and really want to have our staff and our employees really engage with the community. So we will be staffed from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Every day. You know, we still have to figure out, do we take off some holidays, but that's the ingoing model. And, you know, likely have at least 2 staff people on site at any given time. From a programming standpoint, for those who are familiar with pickleball, sort of the bread and butter is open play. So it's a little bit analogous to pickup basketball, where you sign up for a court on an app and you're matched with, you know, sort of a variety of players. You may play a game and then you might have to sit out for a while. But people love that, and that's definitely gonna be the bread and butter of our facility as well, complemented by the ability to reserve your own court. So if you wanna play with 3 of your friends and you don't wanna take the chance of playing with randoms, you know, you can reserve a court, of course. We'll also have pros to teach lessons and run drills and clinics. And then importantly also, leagues and tournaments, which are super popular and drive a lot of upfront revenue for us as well, which is great as we're starting out. The last thing that we will have is also private event space. So think about having your company offsite there, or a party or something like that, which we also know from the group of pickleball owners, we're part of this owners group. We know that's a very profitable means to drive revenue and also, you know, increase sort of loyalty and stickiness as well. Like I mentioned earlier, we really want to drive this community feel. We don't want it to feel like a transactional place where people just pop in and leave. We want to build that community, have people want to stay there because their friends are playing there. And I would be remiss if I didn't nod to the branding around Second City Pickleball. You guys have probably noticed the colors and the Chicago flag. Really trying to lean into the iconicity of Chicago and make it a place where people feel proud to play in their, you know, their metropolitan area, hometown. And like Mike had mentioned, we will have an area for a pro shop, so you can buy branded swag as well if you'd like. Some grab and go food and beverage. And then we're also gonna monetize the space to the extent that we look at utilization, and, you know, if we have underutilization in some areas, you know, bring in bocce or something else that we can drive some additional revenue. And of course, because it's indoors, we will be temperature and element controlled. So no rain, no bugs, no snow. And with that, I think I turn it over to Ken.
Great.
Yeah, we've already seen this, so I won't spend a ton of time on it, but I'll just say that the layout of the space is actually pretty ideal for, for our use, because it's both a sort of an administrative area that the packaging company was using in the upper right-hand corner, and that's what we're turning into our event space, lobby, office, restrooms, etc. And then that opens up into the the very large warehouse area that has 25-foot ceilings. So it's a pretty ideal for our use in terms of transitioning it from the packaging company to a pickleball use. So all of the the improvements that we're considering would be indoors. We would anticipate probably a 2 to 3 month build out after we get permitting. We're very excited and have been working diligently with our designers and architects to bring the vision to life as well. And then lastly, I think we've hit on a lot of these, so I won't spend a ton of time on this, but, we think that there's a lot of advantages, to this project. So activating a vacant space, it's an additional social gathering spot and health related business bringing to the community. And then, we think it's also very accessible. So in addition to being on, the corner of Touhy and McCormick, there's a couple bike trails that either go by or terminate within a block of our location, as well as served by a couple bus lines as well. So there's ability to get to the space through a number of different means. So that will open up to any questions you have for us.
Any questions? Commissioner
I saw
Berman?
you grab and go for food.
Yep.
Is that the only food, or is any black iron, any cooking equipment?
No, yeah. So we grab and go or vending is basically the only food that we're contemplating at this point.
And liquor is BYO?
BYOB, yep. We'll be looking to get a BYOB license, yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Yeah. Commissioner Berman on this side?
I have a question more for staff, I think, since there will be some food element, the garbage can requirement exterior to the door and the 4-hour grounds requirement will apply.
Yeah, we'll make sure that that's addressed. Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, we could make sure that there's a receptacle provided outside the door.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions of the petitioner? None? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Great, thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
At this time, is there anyone in the audience who has a question or a comment on this case? None? Okay. All right. Any further questions of the commission? Okay. Open for a motion. Commissioner, and what is your motion? To approve as, with the staff's
With the staff's
recommendation?
recommendations.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Matei, thank you. Call for the vote. Commissioner Speyer? Commissioner Manchella?
Aye.
Commissioner Scott Berman?
Aye.
Commissioner Franklin?
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta? Commissioner Jeff Berman? Commissioner Matei? Okay, and I'll vote aye. Thank you. And now this case still has to go before the Board of Trustees for final approval. They meet on the first and third Mondays of each month, and you'll be notified when your case comes up before them. And good luck to you, and thank you for picking Skokie. And looking forward to another pickleball court. Thank you. Okay. Okay. At this time, we need to take a 5-minute recess. We have some housekeeping issues that we have to take care of with our electronic stuff, so we'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you. recess, and we're about ready to start. Next is cases 20 to 24-30P, a site plan approval at 7848 to 7852 and 7854 Lincoln Avenue. That is a site plan approval. Case number 2024-31P, which is a parking determination, also at 7842 Lincoln Avenue. Case number 2024-32P, a special use permit request at 7852 Lincoln Avenue. And case 2024-33P, a parking determination, also at 7852 Lincoln Avenue. And 24-34P, a special use permit, also for 7852 Lincoln Avenue. Counselor, is the notice in order?
Unfortunately, notice is not proper, so the petitioner will have to renotice the cases.
Okay, so what that means is that we will not be hearing the case tonight. It'll be postponed to do we have a date certain?
So we're going to schedule it for Thursday, February 6th.
Okay.
So we have to make sure that there's a notice given, and it has to be within 45 days. So I think many of you became aware of this when the case was noticed in October, but our laws require that we have to have given you many of you obviously knew the meeting was here because in Illinois, we notice three ways. We notice by putting a sign on a property, by putting something in the newspaper, and then sending a letter. But unfortunately, we did two of those the right way, but we have one because of the way we did the case, the third one, and we want to make sure that everybody, some people might not have seen the sign, so we want to make sure people have the chance to have gotten the letter for the correct date. Even though we appreciate everybody coming out, but that's why we spent a moment to pick a date certain, so we could tell everybody here and not wait for one of those three ways. So you will get another notice, you will see a new sign, and there will be new information published in the newspaper. So I apologize for all of you coming out this evening, but appreciate you understanding that we want to make sure we get this right.
I have a follow-up question.
The question, excuse me.
Kate can answer the question.
Could you come up? I'm only going to entertain questions on the notice, nothing else.
So Kate Portillo is one of our staff members. If
Please.
you want to just go talk to Kate,
Yes.
she can probably answer your specific question.
Okay. All right. So I apologize for this, but, we have to follow the law. Okay. So hopefully we'll see you back here on February 6th. Okay. Yes, okay. Is there anything else before the commission? Okay. At this point, I will open up the floor to general comments. If anybody has a general comment on anything specific, you can come up to the,
It's not related to the case.
but we can't talk about this case tonight.
I'm not gonna talk about this. Good evening.
Could you
I'm
give us your
mother
name,
of
please?
three. I just wanted
Could
to
you give us
say-
your name, please?
Yes, my name is Nadia Vaso. I'm mother of three. I appreciate that you invited us today, and I'm gonna spare my time for next time. I have three toddlers. It was really hard for me to come out today, but thank you for organizing this. I just want to make sure our comments were resubmitted for today, and people who couldn't show up, they will be read up next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a general comment? Okay. Well, yes, please come up.
My name is Jay, and I have just a general question. When commission approves whatever the plans.
I'm
and
sorry,
all
what was
that-
that, sir?
I'm sorry, what?
Speak into the microphone, please.
Okay, so my question is general, not about this case or anything, but once the commission approves something else, whatever the facility, if that changes, does the applicant come back, or applicant, or actually the whoever the new tenant or whatever it is, for the change of it? Or it is run through the building commissioner and building commissioner planning group and everything? And the particular case I would like to just point out for the case is Hanson Building. From a commercial, I think it's now becoming a church. we live on the street of less than 500 feet, and we didn't even know that till we started seeing the fences up. So I just want to understand, how does that work, and how come we don't even know about it?
Okay, I can't answer your question tonight. So you may want to call the department tomorrow and talk to somebody in the planning department, and they can give you a better answer.
I understand that, but that is my question. You guys are making a decision today, and then something happens, hands-on billing has been there over 20-plus years.
But we.
Something, whatever happened, we're not even aware of it, and you're telling me go talk to somebody else. So you're the commissioner, right? You're making the decision for Skokie, not for your term of whatever years, or 5 years or that, for next 20 years.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted a clarity on that topic,
Well, we can't comment on that tonight.
okay? Well, that doesn't help.
Anyone else? Yes, please come back. All this has to be on record.
On record, I just wanted to get in on a board. Is there a way I can get in on a board?
You'll have to talk to the mayor.
Contact the staff, contact the staff, and they
Okay,
will
good.
channel you toward the right place to
Yes.
get appointed.
Plan commissioners, I just advised, this is not this is not the time for questions and answers. We have to collect comments, and members of the public who have never come to a plan commission meeting, if you have questions, you should direct them to public comments at skokie.org, or we have a staff member in the back who could probably
The
answer your
reason why I'm
questions.
asking because I've been reading the staff report, and I was really concerned that recommendations are not following the taxpayers' desires, the best interest. That's why I'm here, and I feel like I have to get in a board to make sure we are working for taxpayers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay. All right, okay, thank you very much for coming out. Have a safe trip home, drive very carefully, and we'll see you soon. This meeting is adjourned.